Alright guys, what is going on? Just wanted to hop on here real quick. They just released the schedule for the MLF, Major League Fishing Invitationals for 2024. So if you guys have been watching the channel, you know that's pretty much the professional league that I've been fishing the past 2 years. Last year it was the MLF Pro Circuit. This year they made a little bit of changes to it. It is the MLF Invitationals, and it looks like they're keeping with the Invitationals now for 2024. So they just released the schedule, so just wanted to go over that. They have not released the entry fees or payouts or anything like that yet. So this year the entry fee was $30,000 for the season, 6 events, so basically $5,000 per tournament. And there was a field set at 150, and they paid back 50 spots. So it was a little bit of a pay cut from the previous year, where they actually paid down to 75 spots. We did pay a little bit more in entry fees, but in my opinion, I'd rather pay a little bit more in entry fees to pay down to 75, because it kind of sucks when you catch them pretty good, but the weights are just super stacked, and you miss that top 50 cut, and you go home with nothing. So I'd rather pay a little bit extra money, and then let's just say you get a 52nd place finish, a 55th, even a 75th place finish. At least you're going home with $5 grand on that tournament. So in my opinion, I think paying a little bit extra on that, and then them paying down to 75th would be ideal. And then also they took away our championship. Does not look like there's going to be a championship either for 2024 according to what they've just released. So I don't have any other inside information or anything like that, just strictly going off of the Major League Fishing website. So we'll get into the schedule. Stop number 1, Sam Rayburn, February 9th through 11th. So I fished Sam Rayburn one time. Last year it was my rookie season. The first ever professional event I fished was on Sam Rayburn. Had a decent day 1. Day 2 lost a really big one that would have put me well inside the cut for that tournament. So I think it's about the same time of year. And we may have been there in the last week of January maybe when I was there. But it'd probably be pretty cold. Probably be some fish in the grass if there's any kind of good hydrilla there. If not, probably be like an offshore brush pile deal. Maybe a little bit of live scoping stuff. At this point, everything's live scope unless we hit something really on a good spawning time. Stop number 2, West Point Lake in Georgia, March 1st through the 3rd. I've never been there. I've heard it's kind of a tough fishery, a lot of small fish, but with it being early March, maybe we'll get lucky on that one and a bunch of fish will be pushing to the bank. So we'll see what ends up happening there. That one could be interesting. We went to Clark's Hill this year and nobody really knew too much about it, and it ended up being a good one. So we'll see about that one. Stop number 3, Kentucky Lake, April 19th through the 21st. No one has really been to Kentucky Lake much in the past few years because the fishing has kind of gone downhill. But from what I've been hearing, the fishing might be starting to come back there on Kentucky Lake. So we'll find out. Again, that one, April 19th through the 21st. Possible that we hit that on some spawning fish. I know this year they had a Toyota there. I'm gonna have to go back and look, see the dates on that one. But a lot of guys were catching spawning smallmouths, so maybe that'll be a player. But April, I feel like that's a little bit early, but maybe those smallmouths spawn early there on Kentucky Lake. I'm not 100% sure. I have to do some research on that one and kind of find out. But only time I've been to Kentucky Lake was for some high school tournaments. I guess probably 5-6 years ago, something like that. So it's been a while. I know a lot's changed on the lake, so that one will be interesting. Haven't been any big tournaments or anything like that lately, and definitely not in April, so that'll be an interesting one for sure. Stop number 4, Lake Eufaula, Alabama, May 10th through the 12th. I was actually there basically that same exact week this year for the Toyota, and we had low water and the fishing was horrible. It was really bad. I didn't catch a limit either of the days. Less than 10 pounds to get a check, I think. It was pretty bad, so that one I guess will probably just depend on what the water level in Eufaula is looking like. If it's high, from what I hear, it'll probably be really good. If we hit it again when it's low, it's probably gonna suck. So we'll see on that one. Hopefully we get some high water and the lake will show out and we'll get some decent fishing there out of Lake Eufaula. Stop number 5, Lake Champlain, June 15th through the 17th. That one should be a pretty good one. The smallmouths should probably be spawning. I bet it'll be the tail end of the spawn. But we had a Toyota there this year, about the same time of year, and basically all the good bags were caught off of spawning smallmouth, so I'm sure that'll probably be the deal then, June 15th through the 17th. gonna need to buy a flogger for that one. Definitely saw the power of the flogger on those spawning smallmouth, and probably just gonna spend all of practice looking for spawning smallmouth, unless something crazy is going on there on Champlain, but I bet that's probably what it's gonna be. And then our final stop, this one's an interesting one. Stop number 6, Detroit River, July 26th through the 28th, and that is in Michigan. So that'll be an interesting one for the last stop of the year. I would have to assume that's gonna be an all-out smallmouth live scoping deal. So Detroit River, I believe that connects to Lake Michigan. I looked it up briefly. There's been a couple of tournaments out there, but nothing really in the past couple of years, no major tournaments or anything like that. So definitely we'll have to do some research into that one. But I would assume it's probably gonna be live scope, drop shot, big smallmouth, probably. So that is the schedule. It's kind of an interesting schedule for us this year. The one thing that definitely stands out is no Florida lakes. I don't know if MLF/FLW has ever had a season on the pro circuit, FLW Tour, Invitational, where they haven't gone to Florida. So this might be the first one in quite some time that we don't stop in Florida. So obviously a little bit of a bummer for me, being from Florida. I tend to do pretty well in Florida, although this year for whatever reason it seemed to kick my butt. Missed out on a check on every event in Florida between Invitational and Toyotas this year, so we'll see. But was kind of hoping they would go to Toho or Kissimmee or something like that. They haven't been to Toho in a little bit, so I was kind of hoping Toho would pop up on the schedule. I really like fishing there, so. But we're gonna be going to some new places. Let's see, I guess I've been to 4 of the 6. Champlain, I guess, is where I'm most versed on, which is kind of funny because that's a northern smallmouth fishery, but that's really where I've been to the most out of this schedule. So we'll see if the time that I've spent out there the past 2 years pays off. But everything else is kind of gonna be on the newer side of things for me, especially obviously West Point and Detroit. Never been there to either of those, and then Rayburn, Kentucky, and Eufaula I've been to before, but really only for like one tournament a piece on those. So I would consider myself still to be relatively new on those bodies of water. Definitely going to be another year full of learning on those bodies of water. If I decide to fish, I mean, my intentions are definitely to fish the Invitationals for 2024. As long as nothing too drastic happens with the entry fees and the payback. So as long as everything kind of keeps relatively the same that we did this year, I'll probably be in for 2024. I requalified, I've got the invite, so just have to make the decision whenever that packet comes out that really tells us what the pay in, the entry fee is going to be, and then what the pay out is going to be. So we shall see what that ends up being. And then obviously the Bassmaster Opens hasn't really said anything, so kind of keep an eye out on that, just kind of see where that goes. See if you still got to fish all 9 to make the elites, see what the schedule's looking like there, see what the payout's looking like there. But as of right now, everything being equal, 2024, I do plan on fishing the Invitationals. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below on these lakes. What do you guys think? You like the schedule? Do you not like the schedule? Which one are you looking forward to seeing? And what do you think? Should I fish Invitationals, or should I kind of wait and see what Bassmaster announces and maybe go the Bassmaster route? We'll just have to see. I do kind of want to make the BPT though, so Invitationals is definitely weighing out on the scales for right now.